Okay, we're gonna be doing a quick review of Google AI Studio. Yeah, I really like the interface, lots of options and stuff. So loving that. And yeah, we'll try to improve current tool that we're working on. Yeah, we'll just share. Where was that option? Where was that option? Okay, stream real time. We're sharing a screen.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hear you said screen. Is there anything you'd like to say about the screen?
No, that's fine. I was saying we will be looking at this web application.
Okay, you were saying you will be looking at this web application. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Can we focus on so what do you see on the left in the on the HTML page? Can you see my mouse cursor, by the way?
Sure, I can see your mouse cursor. Also, on the left of the HTML page, I see the title Cochlear Implant Signal Processing and a series of blue boxes that are labeled Sound Input, Pre-Processing, Filter Bank, Envelope Detection, Signal Mapping, and Electrode Stimulation.
Yeah, I wanna
Is that what
focus
you're
on
referring?
those. Yeah, I was referring to that. I need to fix it so it looks better. It currently looks a bit weird. It's too small, and the arrows between them needs to be fixed. Hopefully, you understand the context of the whole web application. Yeah, it's showing a model of a cochlear implant simulator, and we want to make it interactive. On the right, we have the code. So I need you to help me modify the code to make it look better. Can you do that?
Yes, I see that on the left side of the page, there is a diagram of the signal processing stages of a cochlear implant. And on the right side, there is the corresponding code. It sounds like you want to modify the code to make the diagram look better, specifically addressing the size of the diagram and the arrows between the boxes. Is that correct? I can help you with that.
Yeah,
What would you like
that's
to start with?
yeah, that's right. I want to fix that diagram. So the content is fine. Maybe the text a bit bigger. Here's the HTML for read on the right side of the screen. I also have the CSS. You can see the whole structure. You can see the structure of the project. It's called the Cochlear. It's in the Cochlear implant folder, and we have JSON, a JSON file. This is the JSON file. If you can see it, we have the index HTML. The README file just currently contains the structure of the files and folders. The script.js that yeah, does all the heavy lifting, and we have this CSS code. So can you help me fix the diagram, the cochlear implant diagram? The lines are connected in a weird way, and I want to make the text bigger and the boxes a bit bigger. Can you help me with that?
Yes, I can see that you have several files in your project, including an HTML file, a CSS file, and a JavaScript file. It looks like you want help modifying the CSS code to change the appearance of the diagram, including increasing the size of the text and the boxes, as well as improving the way the lines are connected. Would you like to start with the size of the boxes or text?
Yeah, so I want that whole canvas, that whole diagram to adjust accordingly to the screen size. Is that possible?
Yes, that is definitely possible. To start, I will focus on the visualization container class you have defined in your CSS file. I can see that the max width is set to 1100 pixels, and I can adjust that to make it dynamic. What max width would you like to use? For instance, can I make it 90%?
Yeah, 90% is fine. Something something went wrong. Yeah. That was a quick session. Yes, it gave me an error. Something ran wrong. Clear chat to start a new stream. Okay. So did it get too long or something? And there's no option to upgrade the model. Yeah, the voice is not great as well. We'll try different voice. Yeah, doing audio. Okay. Share screen, entire screen. Yeah, it's this one
Okay.
here.
Okay, it seems like you're sharing your screen. Is there anything specific you'd like me to help you with regarding your screen?
I need to fix the CSS for this diagram where my mouse is to appear better, to scale automatically with the screen size. Can you help me with that?
Sure, you're looking to adjust the CSS for the diagram on the left so that it scales automatically with the screen size. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, I see that you have the CSS for the hash info dash panel selected. One common way to make an element scale with the screen is to use relative units like percentages or viewport units like VW and VH instead of fixed units like pixels. Would you like to explore that?
Yeah, definitely. Which item we're actually talking about? You wouldn't know because you haven't seen the HTML code.
Got it. So you want to adjust the scaling of the elements within the hash info dash panel. And since I haven't seen the HTML structure, I don't know the exact elements to target. Would you like to show me the HTML so we can figure out the specific CSS adjustments you might need?
Yeah, so this is the HTML code. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it. It looks like you have a div with the aid info panel containing a list with the current settings. You also have the visualization container above it with an SVG inside. So it's not just the info panel you want to scale, but the whole diagram on the left, correct?
The whole diagram, yeah, I wanted to, where my mouse cursor is, that diagram, I wanted to fit the screen better. And yeah, the boxes to be larger, the text to be suitably large.
Okay, so it's not just the info panel, but the whole diagram with the SVG and the boxes and text that you want to scale better with the screen. Since the diagram is inside the visualization container, a good approach could be to add some CSS to that container. Is that the container we're talking about?
I think so.
Okay, let's start with that visualization container. One approach we could try is to set its width to 100% to make it take the full width of the screen, and then use a combination of flexbox and relative sizing within the container to make it scale properly. Would you like to try that?
Yeah, sure. So doesn't mean I have to change this part of the CSS code.
Yes, you'll need to modify the CSS for the visualization container. Currently, it has a fixed max width. You can remove that and set width 100%. Then we can add some more CSS to the SVG inside to make it scale smoothly. Do you want to try that?
Yeah, so I changed it to the max width to 100%. Is that it? I mean, it is better now, but not perfect. As in, yeah, the whole visualization container is better, but the scaling of the boxes, the text inside them, and actually the structure of the diagram could be improved quite a bit.
Okay, so the visualization container is now taking the full width of the screen, but the scaling of the boxes and text inside isn't ideal. It seems like you're also looking to potentially improve the overall structure of the diagram as well. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, let's focus on the scaling of the boxes and text first. Since the boxes are within the SVG, we can try setting the SVG's width and height to 100% to make it take up the entire container. We might also need to add preserve aspect ratio, XM in MyMin meet, to ensure the aspect ratio is maintained. Would you like to try adding this to your CSS?
Yeah, sure. Don't I already have something like that in the CSS? It's already pretty long. It's 133 lines of code.
You're right. I see that you've already set the width and height of the SVG to 100% within your CSS. However, I don't see preserve aspect ratio. Did you want to try adding that to your SVG CSS code?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, it looks like you're ready to add preserve aspect ratio, XM and MyMin meet, to the SVG CSS. Would you like me to wait until you've added it to see if that helps, or would you like to discuss other options?
Hey, can you give me the actual line that I need to add?
Sure, you can add the following line inside the SVG CSS block. Preserve aspect ratio, XM and IMIN meet.
You mean like this?
Yes, that looks correct. Now, does the diagram scale as expected?
That's not correct CSS, is it?
Ah, it looks like you've made a small mistake with the syntax. It should be preserve aspect ratio, XM NMN meet. Note that the value should be a string within quotation marks. Would you like to make that adjustment?
Yeah, can you give me the exact script for it?
Okay, the correct line is preserve aspect ratio, XM NMN meet.
That's what I got from you in the text. Is that correct? Yeah, it keeps giving. Ah, crap. Yeah, we need to start a new stream or whatever. But yeah, it wouldn't give me the exact line of code. Won't give me the exact line of code. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, it's fine because it can see what's up. Let's write different voice. Yeah, this is the first time we are using this, but yeah, sharing the screen 3.
Okay, I see that you're sharing your screen, and it looks like you have Google AI Studio open on one side and Visual Studio Code on the other. Is there anything in particular you would like me to focus on or comment about?
I would like to fix this CSS code.
All right. I see that you're pointing to the CSS code for the SVG element, specifically the width and height attributes. What changes do you want to make to that code?
I would like to add the line to preserved aspect ratio, but I don't know how to do it.
Okay, so you want to add a line to preserve the aspect ratio of the SVG, but you're unsure how to do it. The code preserve aspect ratio XMIN YMIN meet is already there. Are you wanting to add a second line to the code?
Well, that code is not correct, is it?
I understand. You're saying that the preserve aspect ratio line isn't working correctly, is that right? What behavior are you seeing that suggests it's not working?
Is the CSS script correct for that line?
It sounds like you're asking if the CSS code is a script, or if the preserve aspect ratio line is correct. To clarify, CSS is a style sheet language, not a scripting language. And regarding that line of code you're referring to, it's correctly written, but you might be encountering other issues that are causing the SVG to not display as expected. Is this accurate?
Can you help me with that preserved aspect ratio line?
Sure, I see that you're looking at the MDN documentation for preserve aspect ratio. What specifically about that line are you having trouble with, or what behavior are you trying to achieve with your SVG?
We are trying to make this diagram look better. So how do I fix the code?
Okay, you want to make the diagram look better and are wondering how to fix the code. I see that your diagram consists of several rectangles, which could be SVGs. To better understand what to change, can you describe what's not looking correct in the diagram? For example, are the rectangles overlapping, misaligned, not scaling properly, or something else?
Yeah, I want them to scale across the canvas, across the container.
Okay, you want the SVG rectangles to scale across the container. To accomplish this, you could set the width of your SVG to 100% and ensure the parent container also has a specified width. Would you like me to help you with this?
I think I already have that.
You're right. I see that the SVG already has a width of 100%. It appears you are also using height auto, which should preserve the aspect ratio. What else is not working as expected with how it is scaling?
How do I turn that this HTML line into CSS?
Okay, you want to turn the HTML attribute preserve aspect ratio equals XM in meet into a CSS line. You can use the CSS property aspect ratio. However, aspect ratio doesn't support values like XM in meet. Instead, we'd want to focus on keeping the correct aspect ratio using width, 100% and height, auto, which you already have. Is there any further assistance you would like?
Wait, that line should have been in the HTML code, is it? All right.
You're right, the preserve aspect ratio attribute should be in the HTML code, specifically on the SVG tag, not in the CSS. Do you want to move it to the HTML?
Yes, I do want to move it to the HTML.
Okay, it looks like you've already moved the preserve aspect ratio attribute to the SVG tag in the HTML file. Is there anything else you need help with or want to discuss regarding this issue?
How do I make the diagram look better? It's currently, yeah, the lines meant to not overlap the boxes, things like that.
Okay, it sounds like you want to prevent the lines from overlapping the boxes in your diagram. You can accomplish this by adjusting the coordinates of the lines, or by adding padding or margins to the boxes so that they don't come too close to the lines. Would you like to start with either of these?
Yeah, it's a bit hopeless and it's gonna time me out in a sec as well, so.
I understand. You're feeling a bit hopeless and concerned about being timed out. Let's try to focus on one specific issue to make progress quickly. Would you like to try adjusting the lines or the boxes first?
Let's adjust the boxes. Can it be more dynamic, making sure that the lines actually not overlap the boxes?
Okay, you want to make the boxes more dynamic and ensure the lines don't overlap them. To do that, we can adjust the padding of each box. This will create more space between each box and its respective connecting line. Do you want to try that?
Sure.
Okay, let's try adjusting the padding. I see that you're looking at your HTML file with several SVG elements. Could you point out a specific box you'd like to adjust the padding for first, or would you want to adjust all of them?
All of them.
Okay, you want to adjust the padding for all of the boxes. Let's add a CSS class to all the SVG rect elements, and then adjust the padding in your CSS file. Would you like me to guide you through this, or are you comfortable doing this on your own?
No, I don't know CSS.
Okay, you don't know CSS, that's perfectly fine. I can guide you. First, let's add a class to the SVG rect elements. In your HTML file, can you add the class diagram box to all of the rect elements?
Don't I have it already?
You're right, it looks like those rect elements already have an id attribute, so we don't need to add a class attribute. Instead, in your CSS file, let's add a rule targeting all those elements. Can you add a rule to your CSS file that looks like equals rect?
Don't I have it already? Yeah, something went wrong. It times me out fairly quickly. So not very useful. I mean, it is useful. Well, I couldn't solve the problem. Yeah. I have to try it again another time. Yeah, go check out the website. Everything we develop eventually available on bionicchaos.com. Go check it out, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to provide your feedback, questions, complaints. I don't like the color, comments, things like that. And I'll see you next time.